Hi folks, this is Ben from UMPC Portal. I've got the Onkyo TW317A5 Slate here. This is running Windows 7, and I want to give you a little overview of the device, let you get familiar with it. So we'll quickly go around it. On the front, there is not much. We've just got a webcam, proximity sensor, not proximity, an ambient light sensor for automatically adjusting brightness, and we've got some LEDs. On the left side here, we have micro SD, regular SD, 3.5 millimeter headphone, 2 USB, mini HDMI, and this is a power in. On the back, the only other button we have is the power button, and this is flashing because it's in sleep right now, so we'll turn that on. One comment about that power button, it's actually sort of annoying when you try to turn it on, your finger inevitably covers up the LED letting you know that it's on, so it requires a good couple second press to actually do anything, and it's sort of confusing when you cover your whole finger with it and you can't see. But we've got it turned on now. It comes out of sleep really quickly, and it looks like the auto rotate should be working at this point. I don't know what exactly changed the orientation because it's not switching back, but this does have an accelerometer and is supposed to automatically orient itself, but doesn't look like it wants to right now. So if you're not doing automatic rotation, we can switch this back from a little utility that hangs out in the taskbar, and this will be a better shape for our video for the time being. So here we've got it, Windows 7. This is a capacitive touchscreen. It's multi-touch, which is pretty much, when it comes to Windows devices, just a bullet point that they can put on the back of the box. So they can say you can do stuff like this. I don't know how that's useful, but if you need to, you can. It doesn't accept any more than 2 fingers. So 3 or 4 definitely doesn't work. And I'll give you a look at the standard Windows 7 on-screen keyboard, which occasionally pops up when you want it to, and actually doesn't pop up when you want it to as well. I'll show you that in the browser a little later. So here's the on-screen keyboard. It's actually a little bit better than what we've come to know from resistive touchscreen devices, because a capacitive touchscreen device such as this has finally sorted out the inconsistent input where you'd tap and it wouldn't accept it. Here it's very consistent with the input, as you can see, but it all comes down to accuracy. And trying to emulate a touchscreen experience by using a touchscreen overlay that just controls a mouse based on your touches doesn't always work out to be as good as you might think. So here we'll launch Chrome. Very quick launching application in its own right, but the SSD certainly helps this computer be pretty speedy even though it's running netbook hardware. So up here in the URL bar, if I tap, you'll see I get that keyboard pop-up, which is convenient. So I can go to, let's say, Google to do a search. And bear with me, I'm just going to do a couple, standard computing tasks here, and you'll see what it's like on a Slate. So I've gone to Google, great, now I tap in here, and I'm not getting that same button that I get up here in the URL to pull up the on-screen keyboard. So over here, you can actually launch the on-screen keyboard at any point, but this obviously just leads to inconsistency about where you're going to access it from. So it doesn't pop up anywhere in the browser itself, it seems. It's only in the URL bar. So you'll be accessing it from this menu, which always takes 2 clicks. So now I can search for something. And when I press enter there, it's not actually sending the on-screen keyboard away automatically, so I have to do that myself, which is always annoying. And in Chrome, I have an extension that'll let me do some inertia scrolling, which works pretty well. I think it's called Chrome Touch. And I was actually surprised to find that Windows has its own built-in scrolling, which is handy. At least Windows 7 does. I don't believe it had this in any of the previous versions. So if I stamp some text out here real quick to get a scroll bar on the side, I should, yep, you can see the scroll bar going over there. And the window actually does a little rubber banding effect to let you know that you're either at the top or the bottom. And that's actually really handy for navigating list. In previous versions of Windows, this was actually really annoying because you'd have to try to grab the scroll bar with your finger, and it's not exactly designed for finger-sized grabbing. So back to the browser. We'll head here. I'll show you guys a YouTube video so you can get an idea of the performance of this device. Let's see what we've got. So here's an inline video. This is 360p quality from YouTube.
Current tablet PCs are limited. Demand more performance. Demand more flexibility. You deserve more. The Asus E-Slate.
It's fairly smooth. Let's see what happens if we turn up to 480.
This E-Slate EP121 has all of these as standard. Indulge yourself in all kinds of HD multimedia with expandable and replaceable storage options. Content creation is at your fingertips.
So 480 is still working fairly smoothly, but this is not going to do well with HD content. Another thing you can do with the multi-touch, which is pretty much the only other thing I know how to do with multi-touch on Windows, other than messing around in Paint, is do some impromptu multi-touch zooming, which works about as well as it looks to work right here. So I guess that's handy, but not necessarily well implemented. That's what happens when you try to shoehorn a touchscreen experience into, or finger touch experience, into an operating system that was designed for keyboard and mouse. So there you have it. This is the Onkyo TW317A5. We'll benchmark this thing and let you guys see how it performs in the full review. And to sign off here, I'll just show you, we'll see how long it takes to shut down. If I can navigate my way through these menus without accidentally mistouching something. This has been Ben from umpcportal.com. Thanks for watching.